What's up, guys? It's NFL Week 10, and this is your Fanduel Week 10 NFL First Look. We're going to look it all over, get it figured out, Fanduel style, right? The matchups, a little look at the matchups. Then we're going to get right into position by position, who looks good, who stands out. Put together a little lineup, not a lineup to use on Sunday, but a lineup to give an idea of some potential core players or core build-around blocks for this week. I will tell you in advance, FanDuel is very tricky right now. The salaries are really catching up. They're really appropriate. So we're going to have to find some pay down. You can't just build whatever you want. Early season FanDuel, you could do whatever you want. Now it's tightened up terribly. So we're going to get into all of that, get it figured out, and hammer out a first look for NFL Week 10 right here on FanDuel. And let's start with the matchup tool, right? This is going to show us some of the games and situations, team totals, game totals, all that stuff to potentially target. So I'm going to run through this real quick. I already did this on my DraftKings first look, so I don't want to be too repetitive, but there are a few games that do stand out and a few games that absolutely seem like stay away spots and a little bit in between. So let's get into it right here. We got the Bills at the Dolphins. Bills have a massive team total here. Game total is 50. Dolphins total not that great. Dolphins coming off a win. Hey, they played well last week. Good stuff, but Bills are coming in kind of probably to smash them, I would say. And this game screams James Cook, and the Bills running game certainly should shine here. So that's something I'll be paying attention to. We got the Patriots at the Bucks. This one could be really good. 48.5 point team total. Super close spread in this one. So I like both sides. This is a game I want to get involved in. Those pass catchers from the Patriots in particular, super cheap. Never know which one's going to go off. Still don't know. I have no idea. Pop Douglas one week, Booty. It just changes. Diggs. I don't know. It changes every week. Tough one to figure out, certainly in any kind of high dollar lineup, but acceptable for mass multi-entry GPP type stuff. Flip side here, we got Baker Mayfield and crew back off the bye. Maybe Bucky Irving comes back this week. We'll have to see. 48.5 point total. Nice little team total here. Igbuka, primary wide receiver. I like this spot. This is good. Next, we got the Saints at the Panthers. 40 point total. This game looks gross, but Rico Dowdle locked down the starting running back job for the Panthers last week, and now they get this cake matchup. So, yeah, it's Rico Dowdle season right there. Giants at the Bears. This one stands out probably as the best game to target, in my humble opinion. 48 point total. Close game. The Bears, the Giants. I really like this one. Dart, Caleb, both of the guys were in my core last week. Both of the guys were in this video last week. Caleb was the nuts play, so you're welcome. Dart also smashed with a 6x salary, so you're welcome for that. And more of the same coming. I think it's another big game for these groups. Bad defense, explosive offense equals fantasy goodness. Let's go. Browns at the Jets. Jets just traded away their whole defense. So they seem like a vulnerable team. Seems like a Judkins smashes the Jets. Browns defense smashes the Jets. Kind of a spot here. Both defenses super in play. And, this feels like a game where the Browns can come in and maybe pound Quinshon Judkins in their faces. So let's see what happens. But 37.5 point team total. Can't get too excited about anybody in a game like that. Jaguars at the Texans, even grosser, 38 points. CJ Stroud might not play. Ugh, what a gross game. Jaguars defense might come into play here. Texans defense. So both defenses are in play and not much else. Ravens at the Vikings. That's pretty interesting spread there. Ravens 4-point road favorites in this one. You saw JJ McCarthy last week kind of not play that bad. Like, it wasn't great, but he was fine. And it's a lot better than what we saw from McCarthy some of the other quarters that he has done. So has he turned the corner? I guess we'll find out. But, this game has a lot of appeal, I think. A lot of upside on both sides of the football. So I'll be interested in that one. Cardinals at the Seahawks. Cardinals naming Brissett the starting quarterback. That's actually important for this game. Cardinals offensive pieces are much better with Brissett in there than they are with Kyler Murray. Murray's just not good. So this elevates Marvin Harrison Jr. a little bit, elevates McBride a little bit. That's mostly it. And on Seattle, they added Rashid Shaheed. Means nothing. I mean, solid play. Good ad for them, but really doesn't affect too much in this game. Jackson Smith-Njigba is the GOAT. Right now, he's WR1, competing with Puka. Difference is JSN, super healthy. Puka ribs, all kinds of problems. So, we have to make that decision this week. Puka, JSN, it's too early in the week. Let's see what happens with the ribs before we make any decisions. On paper, maybe I like Puka a smidge more, but not really. It's not much. Next, we have the Lions at the Commanders. Marcus Mariota taking over at quarterback after that brutal injury to Jaden Daniels last week. It's probably a smash spot for Lions offense here. Probably Lions running backs are the ones who should be doing the most smashing. So Lions heavy road favorites. That's what happened. The running back shines. That's what I expect to happen. Maybe Mariota can get it done if he's super cheap. Mariota's almost Stoneman on FanDuel, so could have some interest in Mariota just for his rushing upside and a little bit of what he can do. But I don't see a massive ceiling there at all. A lot of the Washington weapons are injured or not there, so not going to get super excited about that Commanders side. For Detroit, I'm thinking about their running backs, amongst other things. Last game on the slate might be the best game on the slate. Maybe not. But you've got the Rams at the 49ers, 49.5 point total. So this is a big total game. Rams are 3.5 point road favorites here. Rams are definitely like a better on paper team across the board. They're just better this year than the 49ers. 49ers could get Brock Purdy back, which could spark a little bit of excitement. This is a divisional matchup. These teams face each other all the time. Throw out the defense numbers and all of that. So if we get Purdy back in this one, I think this game could produce some offensive fireworks. Obviously, McCaffrey is the first thing you think of, but Puka on the other side of the ball, Kyron as well to a lesser extent. And then on San Francisco, there are some bargain basement wide receivers tied to this game. And I have a feeling, and the tight end, I have a feeling some of those guys are going to score. So if we could figure out the right 49ers wide receiver, maybe it's George Kittle, I don't know. But I think we can get some goodness out of the 49ers. All right. Before we jump over to FanDuel, real quick, congratulations to Geeked Up 911. That's what's up on taking down first place in the showdown for Monday Night Football. Check out his entries using the Domination Station Optimizer. This is how it's done. $100 into $25K, $60 into $2,300. Even this one smashed. What a beautiful night Geeked Up 911 had. Congratulations, my man. Well done. All right, let's get into the FanDuel player pool for NFL Week 10, starting at the quarterback position, where we'll just kind of go through it. And there's an interesting gap here. So you have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, clear-cut the best sort of scoring quarterbacks this season. And you have a solid 1K gap down to the next best guy. So it goes 9K and then 8,200, 8K. So 9,209, 8,208. It's a solid $1,000 down to go from Allen to Drake May. Just something noteworthy. It's going to be really, really difficult to pay up at quarterback on FanDuel this week. I unless some value opens itself up later in the week. In my first look, I definitely did not like doing that. It's too constrictive on the salaries, and there is just very, very little in terms of salary relief on the slate, as we'll get to. Lamar Jackson coming off, I think he had a pretty decent day, 25 points last week. Josh Allen probably a 27-pointer or 28-pointer. There it is. So these guys are continuing to smash. I mean, Lamar's in the better situation in terms of the possibility of this game becoming something more than a absolute smash situation. So I think Lamar a little bit more, but I don't think I'm going to go there with these guys outside of like GPP only. I think we have to pay down at quarterback on FanDuel this week. Drake May for 1,000 less in a great matchup, great spot at Tampa. I don't mind that. 8,200, save some salary compared to these two. Matthew Stafford also, Matthew Stafford, he's been so good. Like, who the fuck is this guy, right? Like, who is this guy? 26, 27, 28. That is bananas for Stafford. He hadn't scored a 25 plus in years before this season. Continuing down the salary chart. So this is where we get a little bit of salary relief compared to Lamar and Josh Allen. Got Baker Mayfield here, 7,900 at home. He's great. Perfectly fine. Jackson Dart is somebody I'm really interested in at 7,700 again. More savings. Dart gets it done with the legs. Fine by me, right? 27, 29, 19. This guy has not disappointed at all. The other name I want to talk about down here is Caleb Williams. Same idea, other side of the game. Caleb's all over the place with the returns. I do tend to favor Dart over Caleb. Caleb kind of just can stink it up. Plus, Monunga, I think, can eat a lot of those touchdowns. So I'm going to plug Dart into this particular lineup. But we'll keep looking down the list here. Lawrence, no way. McCarthy, okay, 7,100. Kind of interesting. But there is a name coming up. So we got Brock Purdy here at 7K. I think that's acceptable if he comes back. Brissett at this point might be matchup proof. So at 6,900, okay, kind of interested. And then finally, if we scroll all the way down, you got Marcus Mariota, who does have some legs. He can rush for some yardage. He can rush for a touchdown. He can do some things, but generally he kind of sucks. Let's be real. And he is sitting down at 6,300. He will probably wind up in my player pool in one way or another. Just he'll have to be in there, but I'm not happy about it. He's there, but I don't like it. All right, we're about to shift gears to the running back position, guys. Just let me know who your starting quarterback is on FanDuel this week. Like, I just went through the names. I've got Dart in my lineup here. Who's yours? Which one you're like, man, fuck Dart. I like this guy. Let me know and give me a stack, your quarterback wide receiver stack in FanDuel NFL Week 10. Give me an idea that I didn't have. I love that. I love to hear ideas. I love when you guys get me on a player. Also, do me a favor, if you're enjoying these videos, please just subscribe to the channel. Most of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed to the DFS Army YouTube channel. When you're not subscribed, you're not going to get this video to pop up. I'm trying to do a lot of FanDuel content. We're bringing out some more content, a potential Millie Maker type content for FanDuel as well. But you got to let us know that you're out there, that you like this content, that you want more FanDuel. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the Army YouTube channel. All right, running back position. Starting at the top. Christian McCaffrey coming off a monster game, right? McCaffrey is GOAT. Let's be real. He's the man. He's priced up all the way to 9,700 this week. That's going to be challenging. 28 carries, 6 targets. I mean, he did everything last week. You can always get it done, this guy. Got a couple of touchdowns, had the big score. Remember, though, on FanDuel, 10K means 30 points is what you need. So, McCaffrey's no lock to nail that down. He's very expensive. James Cook, same idea. Almost less good, but a much better matchup for James Cook. Here, 27 carries, 1 target. Doesn't really get a lot of passing game work, but when Cook goes off, he goes off. And in games like this where Buffalo's heavily favored, this could be facing a league worst rush defense. I mean, it's definitely a spot to pay attention to if we can't find anything else for cheaper. Right? Here's Jahmyr Gibbs. Stud off a dud narrative. What happened last week, Jamie? What happened? I don't even know. They just didn't give him the ball. It's not his fault. He said, I don't know. I gave me the rock. I ran it. I did my thing. It's a horrible week for Jahmyr Gibbs. And he's had a few of those mixed in with some big weeks here. Take a look at his game logs. Like 3, 34, 5, 38, 7, 15. This is not that great. Something I warned you guys about before the season started, when everybody was taking Jahmyr Gibbs ahead of Christian McCaffrey in round 1 in fantasy drafts. I said, man, this guy is great when Montgomery's gone. But when Montgomery's there, he's not that great. He is a great player, but he just doesn't produce that well without Montgomery there. He just doesn't. What am I going to do? It's not my fault. I'm just pointing it out. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just letting you know. The Gibbs truthers are going to be out in full force. Von Achane, I don't mind this spot either for Achane. You know what? It's fine. He hasn't been a touchdown machine because the team doesn't score enough. And so that's kind of hurt his production this year. But overall, Achane with Tua in there against Buffalo, who has not been that great against the run, I think it's an acceptable spot. But again, I'm looking for favored running backs, and Achane does not represent a favored situation. So I'm going to be less excited about that. Remember the goal here, guys. Favored running backs going up against bad rush defenses. That's what we're looking for in our perfect world. Speaking of favored running backs, Derrick Henry favored on the road here, 8,400. Derrick Henry can get it done whenever. Has not really had a game this season yet where he would have paid off an 8K salary point on FanDuel. So that's something worth keeping in mind. Kyron Williams, 8,200 favored. Tougher matchup, but he could get it done in a spot like this. I don't like how much they're working Blake Corum into the mix, though, so I don't know. Rico Dowdle, guys, check this out. Look at Rico. Got 25 carries, 3 more targets, massive volume, another smash against the Packers, a really good team. And I didn't even dream about playing Rico last week. No. right? It's the Packers, this and that, on the road, terrible spot. Here we're at home against the worst team in the NFL, the Saints. I don't like the price point, 8K. I'm much preferred on FanDuel where he's 6K, like a much more reasonable salary level. But I think Dowdle is somebody that's going to be in the mix this week. Nothing we can do about it. He has to be. Has to be. Bucky Irving, at home against the Patriots. Let's see if he's healthy, but if he is, I'm going to be interested. Judkins against the Jets. Jets sands all half of their defense. Fine. Shoulder AC joint. Why should that keep you out of a game, bro? You're not catching passes. You're not throwing the football. Just running it. I don't like the Q tag. Breece Hall for the Jets. Tough matchup. Walker, Seattle. Doesn't get enough volume. 11. Yeah, this is gross. His volume's gross. It's not been there, guys. It's too much with him and Sharps. It has to be just one. Now, Travis Etienne, not great. Jordan Mason, not great. Wait a minute. Actually, Jordan Mason could be interesting if Aaron, we'll see if he can increase his activity level, have a chance to play. So this is a situation to monitor. If Aaron is out, we get Jordan Mason as an interesting bargain, underdog running back, nothing special, but at least it's something, right? But I'm going right back to Kyle Monangai. I am assuming that DeAndre Swift will be out for the purpose of this lineup. If Swift is out, I will have tons of Monangai. Load the boat. Load them up. Bears favored. That's the spot. Favored Bears. We're going to load up on Monangai. Last week, I told you guys in this video, I said, I'm going to have 100% Monangai. I'm having every lineup. It worked out really nicely. The guy put up a solid 25 point. He was priced at 5,100. It was such a gift last week on FanDuel to be able to play so much of these cheaper running backs. There's not that many of them this week. I'll show you here. So after we get past Monangai, all right, Charbonnet, backup running back. Tyrone Tracy did not get starter snaps at all. 5 carries, 4 targets. Bullshit, right? Singletary got in there. Kamara, he's just been horrible lately. I don't even have any words. I've literally told you guys from the start of the season, don't play Kamara, and it's worked out really well. He's been chalky, too. That's what's weird. Everybody knows not to play Kamara. Do they? Because he's been chalky a lot. Montgomery can be playable here at 6,100. I'll deal with that. Like, get a touchdown, bro. The problem is that he got a touchdown last weekend, 40 yards, and still only scored 10. That is the downside with such a low usage player like Montgomery. Trevion Henderson is basically the same story as Tyrone Tracy, in the sense that the Patriots had a chance to feature him. He did get a lot of touches last week, but they mixed in other guys. And I don't know what the hell they're doing over there, why they're doing it. But I will tell you this. If Ramondre is out again, this is actually weirdly an acceptable pay down option to go back to it. I know it's like, man, this burned me last week. I'm not going back to it. It didn't burn us that bad. He got volume. Normally I would take this 14 carries, 6 targets. I think that's fine. So I would take that. I don't think anybody's going to play him either. So this is an interesting tournament play, or maybe like the guy that we slide into our flex. I'm telling you, it's going to be difficult to afford a decent lineup. Our wide receivers are going to have to be dog shit. You'll see. But that's all. But not with, if we pay down a Trev, that changes everything or something a little bit. Woody Marks, right? Zani Knight, as an underdog, not interested. And yeah, that'll do it for the running back position. Let's move over to wide receiver. Take note, I started this lineup with Jackson Dart, so maybe we'll build a little kind of like a real lineup here with Dart as our captain. So I'll build some correlation into this one, right? But right off the bat, let's start at the top. We got Puka and JSN, the double stud pay up options. I don't know if Puka's going to play. Got the Q tag, got the ribs. Even if he does play, is he going to be okay? Are the ribs going to be a problem? I don't know. It's early in the week. We'll find out, hopefully, as the week rolls on. But I would say it's not even that big of a concern. I definitely prefer this Rams-San Francisco game environment. So I would prefer going this way. But, man, 10K for a wide receiver, or even 9,500 is crazy. Like, to play these guys, they need to score 30. I think they can, but will they? I don't know. It's asking a lot. Amon-Ra down at 9,300. Do I trust J.J. McCarthy to get the ball to Amon-Ra enough to make value? JJ McCarthy. What am I saying? Amon-Ra's fine. I'm thinking of Justin Jefferson here. Amon-Ra's fine. 13 targets last week, 9 receptions. This game probably needs to become competitive for him to matter. And I just much rather play JSN or Puka. Same thing with Jefferson. Great player. I'm just paying a little more and I'm getting up here. Nico Collins now. So let's get to the second. That does it kind of for the stud zone of wide receivers. Devontae Adams again, only if Puka's not playing. There's no way, right? So here we get Nico Collins. CJ Stroud, unknown situation. If Stroud's not playing, mildly interested, but again, 8K, a little spendy for a guy averaging, pretty shitty scores. Emeka Egbuka, this one's more interesting. 7,800, the only game in town. Everybody's hurt. The stud on Tampa. I like Egbuka. Rome Odunze, I'm shocked his salary didn't come down after last week's stud. Can we go stud off a dud? Is he even considered a stud? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Is he a stud? Probably. I bet like after last week's turd, he's going to smash this week because that's how the fantasy football gods like to do it. So I guess we'll see. But, I like Egbuka a little bit more than Odunze. But Odunze is still somebody you gotta stack him up even in your dart stacks, but certainly in our Caleb stacks, we're going to have exposure. Doesn't matter. Garrett Wilson coming back for the Jets, probably in this low scoring stink bomb matchup. Probably not interested. Addison at this price, a little too spendy. Debo, the spot right punk, has not looked that great. He's the only game in town. I guess if I'm playing a Mariota lineup, I would do Debo in there. Jalen Waddle, only game in town for Miami. Let me just see if this salary level is producing. Yeah, playable. Zay Flowers, nice little stack piece with Lamar. Ave unplayable. Brian Thomas Jr. unplayable. Ted McMillan, surprisingly, playable. I think Ted McMillan's okay. I don't love it, but Bryce Young is there. Bad opponent. It's not that bad. J-Mo Williams. But the first guy I'm going to go to here is actually Marvin Harrison Jr. He looked good with Brissett. On Monday Night Football. It is close to Monday. 10 targets, 7 receptions. Gets the touchdown. No bonus there, but everything looks great. 6,600. The salary works. I like it. McLaurin will be out again. DJ Moore had a big week last week, but, it wasn't like it was just kind of almost luck, right? He ran for a touchdown. How often is that going to happen? He had the same 6 or 7 targets, 4 receptions. So not that impressed, even though more pop. I'm going to wait for the projections to see what they say, but I'm not super impressed there. Jennings is interesting at 6,300. I think he's absolutely playable. Very much playable. Him and Kendrick Bourne or whoever the wide receivers are. I think this game, Rams, San Francisco, is going to pop. So I don't mind going there with Jennings, but let's see if there's other options, right? Steffi Diggs, also fine. I don't really think Stephon Diggs has proven that he's the WR1 at all for New England. I just think he's just another guy for New England, which makes me not want to pay up for him, but find one of the other guys. K-Shack. Wan'Dale is the first one I kind of want to point out here. Are the scores that great? No, but when the touchdown happens, all of a sudden it pops, right? So he's 6K, 612, 18 is what we need. He'll probably need a touchdown. But he did get 11 targets, 9 receptions last week. I'm going to go a little differently, but I kind of like Wan'Dale a little bit. But in this case, I think I'm going to go with Slayton to pair up with Dart, mostly because just Slayton has a little more deep ball touchdown equity, 7 targets, 5. So fewer targets and receptions, but more yards. Didn't get the touchdown, but I know that's coming. So I don't mind this Dart to Slayton kind of combination. Bring back of Monungai. Let's keep going down the list here. We've got, 79, 8K left per position. So I don't really have to dive down here. We'll grab a tight end. We'll be able to upgrade in other spots, but let's keep going and see what else is going on at wide receiver on FanDuel this week. Tez Johnson. Yes, guys, I think we got to be interested in Tez Johnson, as stupid as it is. I mean, let's find out what Godwin is doing, but they throw to him a lot, him and Sterling Shepard. If we need these pay downs, these guys are mildly of interest. Pop DeMario Douglas, all of a sudden, as the world turns, this guy gets 100 yards and the touchdown. All that means is next week he's going to be benched because this Miami team or this New England team have no clue what they're going to do from week to week at the wide receiver position. No clue. I guess Booty's hammy out will help. And I guess we'll take a look at the matchups tool on DFS Army as the week rolls on to try to figure out if we can make any sense of what the heck they've been up to over there. Jace. A couple of names down here that I thought were interestingly cheap. Jerry Jeudy. I mean, I don't like the quarterback there, but like he's down to 5,500. That's pretty crazy. He's sub 4K on DraftKings, which is nuts. Olamide had a big week last week, but 8 targets, 6 receptions, 14 points. I mean, would be great at this price. I'd be super happy. So I don't mind that in a Caleb lineup. Michael Wilson had a big game last week. Got the touchdown, I believe. No touchdown, just a big play. Bateman, a touchdown scorer, could be interesting if we're looking to save some salary. And I think the best guy down here is, I'm sorry, I know I've said it a lot of times, Kendrick Bourne. Like, give me some upside here with Kendrick Bourne if I actually have to go this low. We don't have to in this lineup, but, I want a piece of the San Francisco Rams game, and Bourne is just another way. We need salary relief here on DraftKings this week. So, De'Ami Brown is out, which means that game is so terrible it doesn't really even matter. Yeah, Torrey Horton he had a big game last week too. 18 points, 2 touchdowns. When will that ever happen again? All right. I have a lot of salary left. I'm going to leave this one spot open. Let's grab a tight end, and then we'll finish this thing out. Trey McBride, 7K, fine. Laporta, 6,400. Don't really see a lot of like pay up equity going that way. Kincaid at 6,200. George Kittle. A lot of these guys will just be paired with my quarterbacks. So, if I'm kind of building around San Francisco Rams, I'll use Kittle. Kincaid has been great with Josh Allen, so why not keep it going? If I'm building around this game at all, maybe like a Mariota lineup, I'll have mild interest, but not a lot in Laporta. I mean, he's hit value twice on the year at this price, which is okay. Mark Andrews gets a lot of tutties. I don't mind him. Not a lot of targets, but a lot of tutties. If we're trying to save some salary, we're going to have to go dive a little bit deeper. And I think our guy, I don't mind Hawkinson or Theo Johnson. Both are fine, right? Let's just see. Hawkinson got a couple targets last week. A little score, got a touchdown. Fine. Good enough. Theo also a couple targets, got a touchdown. Fine. Good enough. What about AJ Barner? Just curious. Yep. Same idea. He had some sort of a touchdown in there. But the guy I'm interested in NFL Week 10 is Colston Loveland, the breakout guy. 7 targets, 6 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Add him in. Get in my belly. Get in my belly. Colston Loveland. Amazing week last week. Didn't really adjust the price up at all. Another great environment. It gives me a bring back for Dart. It's the Dart, Slayton, Loveland, Monangai super game stack. Let's fucking go. All right. I didn't go through the defenses, just remembering. So I'll still do that one more time, and then we'll kind of make a few adjustments to spend all the salary here. But the reason I didn't go through the defense, because I already plucked my favorite. Carolina Panthers, 3,600, super inexpensive. They're the cheapest viable. Maybe Ravens at Minnesota if like there's an implosion, and even Saints at Carolina if there's like a Bryce Young sucks situation, but not with Rico Dowdle. Rico, Panthers, perfect little correlation, right? But I'll scroll up and talk about a few others that might be of interest here. I guess I'd say Jets and Browns, both very much in play. So if we're season long, whatever it is, Jets, Browns, both in play, both sides. Lions play a bull, but nothing exciting. Jaguars, if Davis Mills comes in for Stroud, I think can be played. Buffalo play a bull on the road at Miami. None of these excite me. I think I'm just going to stick with the pay down. Rams at San Francisco, you know what I'm saying? Like Patriot, I'm not paying all the way up for the Patriots there. Houston at home against the Texans, against the Jaguars. Okay, fine. And then Seattle, all these are acceptable, but I think we stick with pay down, right? Especially with the way salaries are. So I'm going to leave Carolina Panthers in there. I've got 10K left. I could literally just plug in Puka, call it a day. Don't like Puka, plug in JSN, call it a day. Got some salary left over, can upgrade somewhere. Or if we're willing to pay down a little bit more, which I'm not, but like Igbuka or something like that, then we probably can gather enough firepower to get another actual good running back in there as opposed to whatever the hell I have going on. That being said, I like the first version better. Guys, this is not meant to be a lineup to put in. It's just a first look on FanDuel. Get a feel for the slate. Get ready. Get excited. Get the juices flowing. I hope you're enjoying this video. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you want to check out DFS Army, all the tools we have to offer, including the tools that got geeked up, another showdown takedown. This happens all the time, all season long. We have our DFS Army Wall of Fame, crushing it. The Wall of Champions, new swag being sent out every week to these guys for winning. We love repping the brand. Helmets up all the time. Promo code GEEK, 10% off DFS Army VIP. It gets you access to everything that we do. All the sports. College basketball just started. College football. Everything's going right now. We are in perfect DFS season. Get in there. Promo code GEEK, 10% off at DFS Army. Good luck this week, everybody. Helmets up.